Do you ever feel like you're not good enough? You do something wrong and your brain replays it over and over again like a YouTube highlight reel. Your confidence dips and your self-esteem flatlines. Well, you're not alone. People have been feeling like this since the beginning of time, and it's an old problem and there are some old solutions. And luckily those old solutions work very, very well. My name's Andrew Kirby, and in this video you will learn exactly how to increase your confidence in 4 steps. If you enjoy this video at any point, then hit the like button, and if you want to see more videos just like this one, then hit the subscribe button. But let's get right into it. When psychologists steam clean and research Buddhism, you get modern day mindfulness. When scientists steam clean Stoicism and make it scientifical, we get what is called cognitive behavioural therapy, a weapon that most therapists are using to remove stuff like anxiety and depression and will give you more confidence. But what exactly is CBT? When mindfulness is the gentle cousin that tells you to step back, watch your problems and let the bad one drift away, CBT is the person that tells you to confront your problems and settle it in the alleyway behind the bar. Now I'm going to zero in on one key concept in CBT, or should I say now we're going to zeno into one key concept. Oh, I'm cringy, I'm not even going to go there. You see, your feelings come from your thoughts, not from the events around you. And this is a basic belief in CBT. Sorry, I should say this is a basic fact in CBT that's been proven by science multiple times. You see, the moron who called you a moron didn't make you angry. And the fact that your bus was late didn't make you aggravated. What made you upset was your thoughts, beliefs and feelings towards the bus being late or towards the moron that called you a moron. Here's a quote from Epictetus. "It isn't events themselves that disturb people, but only their judgments about them." And that is the core idea that forms CBT. Let me read you a quote from a great book about CBT. If you want this book, then there's a link in the description. "CBT is based on the principle that thoughts influence feelings, feelings influence actions, and actions influence our results or life circumstances. In other words, shit situations don't make us feel certain ways. People don't make us feel certain ways. It's how we interpret situations or things people say or do that influences how we feel." So many people that I tell this idea to just outright reject it. They say, no, the person that called me a moron is the reason that I'm angry. The bus was late, of course I'm going to be angry. But this is wrong. See, imagine this. You're at night, you're in bed, and you hear a terrible crashing sound from downstairs. Depending on what you think of the situation, that will completely change how you feel about the situation. For example, if you think that there's an intruder that's just broken into your house, you'll be scared and you'll be worried. If you think that your son's just got back home after being away for months and months, you'll be relieved and you'll be happy. You see, it truly isn't events that make us upset. If I pull a gun out of my pocket and you think it's a water pistol, you're not going to be scared. If I pull a gun out of my pocket and you think it's a real life gun, of course you're going to be scared. It truly is your belief about the situation that will completely affect how you feel about the situation. The Stoics realized that we had to question these irrational beliefs. Here's what Marcus Aurelius had to say. "Today I escaped from the crush of circumstances. Or better put, I threw them out. For the crush wasn't outside me, but it was in my own assumptions." By getting rid of these irrational negative thoughts and replacing them with only positive affirmations, we are deluding ourselves. What we want is rational, clear thoughts that are the truth. But how do we do that? Well, it starts with my number one point, and that's that you should identify and challenge your distorted thoughts. When you're feeling unconfident or your self-esteem plummets, ask yourself this one question. I'm feeling unconfident because I thought ... Fill in the blank. Chances are you have some default go-to phrases that you say to fill in this sentence, like, "I'm not good enough," or "I feel unconfident because I failed in the past and I feel like I'm going to fail again." Well, that's the first step, identifying it. And the second step is to challenge these thoughts. Here's what Epictetus has to say. "First off, don't let the force of the impression carry you away. Say to it, 'Hold up a bit and let me see who you are and where you are from. Let me put you to the test.'" So what does CBT recommend that you do? For every irrational thought that you have, match it with a rational thought. For example, if you failed a project, your irrational thought may be, no, I failed the project, I'm never going to be successful. I've always failed projects and I just can't do this, I'm not good enough. Replace that thought with the rational thought. Yes, I failed this project, but I've succeeded in multiple projects in the past. Chances are if I keep succeeding in the past projects, I will be successful. And this failure was just a one-off failure. Don't let those irrational thoughts completely conquer you and control you. The more you think about them, the more the habit occurs, and the more you'll think about these negative thoughts. In time, you should correct these thoughts, and with time, the correction, the rational thoughts will be your default type of thinking. Yeah, this is good for the occasional negative thoughts. But what happens if you're constantly thinking about negative thoughts? You're constantly brainstorming things that could go wrong and stuff like that. Well, for that, we've got to dig deeper. And that brings me on to step 2 of the 4 Stoic steps to make you more confident. And that's test your core beliefs. If you constantly feel down about yourself and you're constantly upset, it may not be these one-off things that are upsetting you, these one-off events that are upsetting you, like you failed a project. This is probably not the reason why you're upset. You are upset because of your deeper core beliefs. For example, I'm not good enough, or I will never be loved. Challenging these fundamental ideas is very daunting, and chances are there's a lawyer in your head constantly giving you proof that these ideas are correct, that you are unlovable, that you are not good enough. But what your brain is lacking is a defense lawyer on the other side, counter-arguing with the lawyer, giving you evidence that you are good enough, because you completely ignore this evidence. So what I want you to do right now is write down reasons that you are good enough, or write down reasons that you are lovable. Here's what Epictetus had to say. This is the true athlete, the person in rigorous training against false impressions. Remain firm, you who suffer. Don't be kidnapped by your impressions. The struggle is great, the task divine, to gain mastery, freedom, happiness, and tranquility. By only having that I'm a loser lawyer constantly giving you proof that you are a loser, you completely ignore all evidence that's saying that you aren't a loser. So I actually want you to write down this list. So after you've written this list, chances are the lawyer on this side, the lawyer telling you that you are a loser, is still winning. That's because the defense lawyer hasn't had time to make his argument. With time, again and again and again, the defense lawyer will start winning, and you'll start disbelieving these irrational thoughts that you're having. And these irrational thoughts will be replaced with positive, rational thoughts. And the best thing is, these thoughts are the truth. You're not a loser. You're not unlovable. And that's what makes this so believable. But how do you make this lawyer, the defense lawyer, win over time? And that gets me on to step 3 of my 3 Stoic steps to give you more confidence. And that's that you should have an evening confidence ritual. The Stoics knew that you had to have a ritual every single day and take some time to reflect in order to keep yourself improving. Here's what Seneca has to say. I will keep constant watch over myself and, most usefully, will put each day up for review. Let us balance life's books each day. So you've written the list on why you aren't a loser. Now you need to go back to this list every single day. Give your defense lawyer time and time to present his argument again and again and again. And eventually what this will do is you'll keep accumulating evidence that you're not a loser. That book I talked about before, the CBT Toolbox, sums this up perfectly. Another important tool for developing more healthy beliefs and thus becoming less reactive is an ongoing evidence log. Whereas previous tools required you to review your life and look for evidence from the past, ongoing evidence logs ask you to be mindful of evidence in your everyday life. With time, you'll start being more positive more often. You will start believing the great, positive, true thoughts that you should be thinking every day. So great, you've started to think about these positive thoughts and you've made a list. So what's the final step for developing more confidence? And that's use a cognitive cue card. A, B, C. Always be challenging your brain. Marcus Aurelius said this: "When you are distressed by an external thing, it's not the thing itself that troubles you, but only your judgment of it. And you can wipe this out at a moment's notice." So how can you make the job easier for the defense lawyer? Well, what you do is you come up with a set response to your negative thoughts and you write them down on a little cue card. So when you're too tired to argue with yourself, you just can't be bothered to deal with the negative thoughts, you don't have to wake your defense lawyer up. You can just read the writings that your defense lawyer has written. The message on your cue card should take this form: just because blank doesn't mean blank. So for example, if you have social anxiety, you should write down, just because I said this stupid thing doesn't mean that I am stupid. Everyone makes mistakes, and the best bit is I'm making less mistakes than I was before ever since I watched that video by Andrew Kirby. So keep at it. Keep that card in your pocket. Read it whenever necessary. Argue against your irrational beliefs whenever they crop up. And eventually, you will internalize your rational beliefs. Why? Because they're the truth. With time, you will start believing the positive thoughts that you should have. You will start believing that you're good enough. Because it's the truth. You are good enough. There's no reason that you're not good enough. That's the end of the video from me, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, then hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos, then hit the subscribe button. I'm going to add this bit to the end of the video because I know that only my true fans will be watching still. In a few weeks, I'm releasing a course that's based 99% on science and 1% on philosophy, giving you a course that will remove your anxiety. So if you're excited for that, then just hit the subscribe button, and I'm excited to share that with you. These methods that I'm going to be sharing with you have had a huge impact on my life. I'm so excited, I can't put it in words. I know that you guys are going to love it. So stick around for that if you have any form of anxiety. But that's it from me, guys. I'll see you later.